All right. We are going on. All right. Let me get my stuff in order. Hello, hello, hello. Come on in. I hope. Hey, y'all, come on in. I'm so excited. We are going on. We are going on, y'all. Period. What they say, as the young folks say, per. Ooh, Lord have mercy, Lord. It's a good day to have a good day. Let me get my stuff together. Um, who's live? Comment live if you're live. Comment replay if you're watching the replay. We gotta go. We just gotta go in all the way, y'all. Period. And that's just the bottom line. When she said, I'm telling Maddie, what happened? Oh, per. Right? Because you know how it is. She, Mama, please don't say that no more. I'm here, y'all. Hold on, let me get myself together. I thought I had. See, I thought I had another block, and that block was not the right one. I had to go downstairs and get another one. And I was like, where is the actual thing? Because I wanted my little light on. Let me see here. Just want to make sure. Trying to get back in the flow, being back in my office. I still gotta finish fixing it up, y'all. Gotta still finish fixing it up. Okay, y'all, we are live. We are live. And we are gonna talk about self-trust today. We're gonna talk about standing on business about ourselves, right? And with all of these things that are happening, as we have been, what is it called? We have been preparing. Now, one thing y'all can't say about me is that you cannot say that I have not been preparing you. You cannot say that I have not been preparing you, baby, because y'all have been prepped. Okay? Not what the girls are fighting for. The take, okay? I'm not talking about that. I'm actually talking about being prepared for the times that we are in. And that is kind of what I want to talk about tonight, as far as because of, and I'm going to be careful when I say different things. I may have to go, you know what, I'm on YouTube, which I'm going to stay on YouTube and do, but I think what I'm going to do is go live on Substack, because Substack, I can talk a little bit more liberally. I can't really do that on TikTok, so I'm gonna get off on TikTok and I'm gonna go to Substack too. Y'all, if you're just coming in, go to my Substack, because I got some things I need to say that is going to be a little bit controversial. And when I say controversial, this obviously not fear mongering, but it's actually on the up, not necessarily on the up level, but more so on a level where the opponent, if you get my drift, the opponent is, everything is spiritual. I told y'all to remember. because everything is now we're in the age of air. Hmm. Mm, mm, mm. I'm getting chills just thinking about it. We're in the age of air. That's the thing. That's where we at. And that's the part where a lot of us are going to either, and I'm not saying pass a test because it's not about passing a test. It's about really understanding who you are now, because you were not really up on game because nobody prepared you. Nobody really prepared you until you had to come in and understand what in the world are we doing? What is this world doing? What is happening? How am I supposed to evolve? Right? How am I supposed to evolve with all the stuff that's going on right now? How am I supposed to grow? How am I supposed to prosper? Right? In the world that is developing and evolving in right now. We're in the age of air. The age of air equals what? The age of Aquarius. The age of Aquarius, the Aquarian age. Okay. The Aquarian age is all about what? We already know consciousness. This is all about tech. This is all about the truth coming out. Everything is weird. I've always told people like Aquarius is quirky. They're weird. They're very honest. They can't hide their face. They don't know how to hide their feelings. They're very like, it's just a little off. And it's so funny that God gave me an Aquarian child because I'm looking at the age of Aquarius all day. Maddie is an Aquarian. She's a 100% Aquarius. Okay. And she is quirky and weird. Okay. She's very awkward socially. She'll tell you I'm very awkward. She'll tell you, I don't know, like this is weird. And you know how some people be afraid to hug you because it's like, okay, you're crying and I really don't know really what to do. So let me just kind of feel like I'm hugging. Like I want you to think I care. She is they're very quirky. They're very socially awkward sometimes. Right? Exactly. Even down to the way they dress. They're very in their own element. They're in their own they're doing their own thing. Quenisha said that's me. Yeah. Where is it just in their own lane? And it's an age where it has a double faceted because everything is polarity, right? So I want to make sure I don't sound like I'm in psychosis because y'all know I study this stuff. I study all levels of how it comes down to how the world deals with different things, right? How we've dealt with things through the ages. It's, what are you, Quenisha? I think we talked about this because I think you water, I think. Did you say you were water or Libra or something like that? You air? Somebody. Scorpio, that's right. I knew it. And it's as I said, it knows water somewhere in there. And when it comes out to right, when it comes out to the studies of how the world went through shifts, right? And so we were given different codes to either abide by literally or subjectively. Now, depending on how deep your belief system is, if you're watching live Substack, comment live. If you're watching replay, give me some heart. Feel free to share this broadcast as well. YouTube, you do the same. Feel free to tag someone in it or send a link to someone that can definitely listen and hear in, because this is an era where we have never seen before in our conscious history, right? So everybody, it's just like I told y'all in 2020, everybody experiencing this stuff for the first time. So nobody really knows what to do. We're literally flying by the seat of our pants. We're in a new age. We've never done this before. And I think this is absolutely, in so many ways, interesting, very uncomfortable, right? Very uncomfortable, but it's also very intriguing because you're seeing the world change. And it's almost like you have to just put on the cruise control, right? You put on cruise control. So when it comes down to the new era or the new age, I'm going to just stick with the age of where we are. It really does come down to a couple of key different things. You have to understand that there is a light and a darkness, there is up and down, there's all these different things. But we're also coming to identity because we left, I believe, we left Pisces. Okay. I think we have pretty much the door is closing on Pisces. The age of Pisces was all about hierarchy. It was all about who is over who. It was all about man over woman, head of household, over what this is how things are being governed. And we had to depend on other people to get things done. Okay. Now that we have been able to come into what Steve Jobs left behind was the forbidden fruit being bit in that logo for Apple. Now we are in the age of everything's out in the open. You can go and research things now. You can go and look for information. Where this is the information age. This is the information age. Everybody can get the truth for what it is to them. Now we're finding, hey, Huntress, we're finding because look, the truth ain't the truth. The truth is perspective. Truth is perception. Truth is reality. Reality now, instead of it being objective, it is now subjective. There's no more, I need proof and evidence because proof and evidence is also subjective. Because guess what? Every book, every post, every survey, every piece of research, every novel, everything that we have found out is per someone else's perception of that thing that we want to find out about. So now it's not just about, do you have any proof? Do you have any evidence? I am the evidence. We don't believe people are having downloads anymore. We don't believe people like, oh, she had a download, but okay, but I still want to. Everybody's just having anybody just say stuff on the internet. Why can't people just say whatever they want on the internet? Does it bother you that people are saying anything on the internet? They're just spitting out all these lies. Well, it's no different than anything else that has been told to you that's now a lie. So what makes what they're saying is different? The relationship that we have with history, the relationship that we have with love, the relationship that we have with trust, the relationship that we have with time, the relationship that we have with work, the relationship that we have on friendships, etc. And when I say relationship, how we relate to it has now started to change. Because now we're stuck in a loop, if you will, trying to figure out who we are in conjunction to it. So now nobody really, unless you are still a child in the brain, which many adults are, so we can't expect everybody to catch on, okay? Because that's it. Everybody that's awake, you're awake, and now you got to take care of yourself. You have to learn how to self-parent. You're going to have to understand how to now. Is this hitting on anything? Is this coming into understanding? How now to shift or deepen your relationship with now constructs. You get a chance to rewrite history for yourself. Amen, somebody. People thought that this was crazy. I said this a while back. Now, this is going to sound very off and very outside and very galactic and very, dare I say, psychotic a little bit. I even told people years ago, I said, I don't see anything wrong with us writing a new Bible. If the Bible is, if the one that we got 45,000 denominations, okay? I'm a child of a preacher, child of a pastor. I'm PK. Baby, let me tell you, if there are 45,000 Christian denominations, I think we should just write something new. In fact, I'm going to even go out on a limb and say, why can't you just write a Bible for your own family? What's your idea, and what's your idea in the creation of the world? Don't you know Japan is, I forget if it's Japan or China, one of them saying that they're writing a new Bible. And people are like, oh my God. I was like, well, what's the problem? I don't understand what's wrong with it. Everything is from man's perspective. But it's the infallible written word of God. God did not write it. But God didn't write the Bible. God is spirit. God is energy. God is, baby, God is creating. He is creating. That's all God is creating. This all God is doing. And God is a German, has a German Latin, okay, has a German origin. It actually means to pour a libation. Did y'all know that? That is a German word. Look at the etymology of, go all the way back. Look at the etymology of God. That's why I had start calling God source. I was like, well, let me stop calling, because God is, I don't drink liquor. So, that's me. Hunter said, agree. Kanye did it. Right. And see, people think you're weird and crazy for talking like this, but it is kind of the truth. This is where we're going. This is where we're going. Why can't you? Because when you think about it, when you step back, and I'm getting into self trust, because I'm going to tell you this. When we talk about self trust, it is um, it is based on trusting your own thoughts as yours, right? There's nothing wrong. See, this is the thing about human beings. We listen to one voice, we listen to one or two people, and we immediately, if we don't have any other, if everybody's in agreement and you're in an impressionable, vulnerable place, people can tell you anything, especially when you're in a low place, when you don't have anything, when you don't have what you want, right? It is so easy to think that you're the issue, that something is wrong with you, and that you need saving. And you need to be told that the reason why things are happening to you is because you just are wretched undone. And if you would just accept this as your personal savior, you can be saved. Everything is on the afterlife, but you people fail to forget you got to live here. So anything that is not pulling me into eternal life and abundance, not just on earth, but as it is after I leave here, or if whatever that look like, then how in the world are you going to tell me that I have to trust you with what you're saying? And see, we don't question it when we're in a low place, because we really do think there's something, because we have tried to reason in our mind. And this is why I told y'all going to see a lot of people going back to religion, because freedom requires self-responsibility. And that also comes with trust, because trust is all about responsibility, how you respond to things, how you respond to external stimuli. This is why a lot of times we're always looking for someone to complete us. We're always looking for someone to help and support us, because we don't know how to do it on our own. We're children in the West. in the Wild Wild West. So we go through this cycle of trying to think of why does it feel like everything is doing it going this way and going that way, and why does it feel like everything is happening this way and everything feels like this and everything feels like that. I just feel like everything's crumbling down on me, and I don't know what to do. So maybe this is not for me. I need to put this down. I heard a voice say this voice is fear, that voice is programming, that voice is memory, that voice that's telling you that you don't need to do that. You need to, don't believe that. You need to go back to this. You need to go back to that. You need to go back to what you knew because you don't know this. This is sending you straight to hell. This is sending you straight to this. So it's almost like I need to go back under a covering. I need to go back under hiding. I need to go back under someone. Now, this is not to be confused. And I want to make sure I'm very clear. I'm not talking about husband and wives that love each other, right? I'm not talking about husband and wives because in the age of Aquarius, love looks very different than Pisces. You know what age of Aquarius love looks like? It's supposed to. It's going to look like companionship. It's going to look just like companionship. It's going to be true. Now, right now, it's not going to look like that because they're trying to hold on to the old way. They're trying to hold on. And this is why I said I got shivers up my spine when I was kind of doing in my meditation working today. And I was telling y'all too the other day about how all these AI projects and stuff, was crumbling and things were happening, and corporations are now, losing all this money and time, and they're not getting the ROI that they want. And I started thinking about even relationships. Like people are just like finding out that the relationships that they were in they were soured out. Social media made people see what was healthy and what was not, right? And then people started to, like I told you, it was going to be the great divorce. The great divorce started to happen. People started to leave their spouses and all that kind of stuff. People start breaking up, blah, blah, blah. Now, we're in this place where I don't think that's going to stop, but people now, like husband and wives now, they are appreciative of one another. Now they're seen, as a partnership and companionship, even if they are married. This is now a partnership. This is a companionship. This is more of a baby, I got you and you got me kind of thing. Y'all, you understand? And so that's why you're going to start seeing probably more couples that are doing things together, like owning more businesses together. Like we see that, but I think it's going to become way more normalized. We already see that with content creation, right? But we're also going to see that more and more as time goes on, because guess what they're going to start doing? They're going to start coming together to build for their family. And I'm talking about it's going to be very genuine. You're going to see people with channels. Like it's going to be kind of like Family Matters. It's going to be just like those families are like Cosby Show and all that. Like it's going to be very, very like, let's start a YouTube channel, but it's going to be very authentic. It's going to be funny. You're going to have some people that's going to be funny. You're going to have some people, girl, he don't play about you. It's kind of almost like a reality YouTube kind of thing where people are going to be doing more and more of that, right? Because people, when the dust settles, people are they're going to start to turn into one another, right? Into one another for each other's backing. So the feminine and the masculine are going to come into some harmony. Now you're going to have a darker side on the other side. You're going to have this, like you're going to always have an opposite, unfortunately. Okay. You're going to see that. I think it's exactly, Huntress. It's going to be more authenticity. It's going to be more freedom. It's going to look like a partnership. Like husbands and wives are going to be sitting down and being like, he's going to be like, what you want to do? Like, we need to just go ahead and just come together and do something. Like, do we need to start a YouTube channel or what we need to do? Baby, I've been telling you, we need to just go ahead and start. You know what we need, just give me a list. me ain't gonna be just give me the list and I'll just we're just gonna have to order all this equipment. And see, that's gonna be, you're gonna see more of that. Okay, and it's gonna be, I told you, with the media companies, that's a part of it. Families are gonna be the house of this. You're gonna have their own, people are gonna be tuning in and laughing. People are gonna be tuning in and being a part of y'all's, subscribing, right? Subscribing to get uh behind the scenes. Now, some of y'all are probably, well, what about people that's going through this and they got children, and there's going to be just this understanding of partnership. You're going to see that more and more and more. Not just dancing, not just trends, actual shows, actual, almost like they've had some, different YouTube families, but it's going to be rooted more in authenticity for sure. Now, when it comes down to single and relationships and dating and things like that, I'm going to be very honest with you. Okay? I'm going to be very honest with you. I think that when it comes down to people that are dating, it is going to start looking as if like you're going to have to start using social media in a way that it is showing the vlog stuff. But this is before you do the vlog thing. You got to build your audience to even like what you're doing. Okay? I am not an influencer. You will never see Coach J day in a life. You'll never see that from me. I mean, if you see that from me, I need to not probably not speak it, but I was just gonna say, if you see that from me, this like Jaden ran out of ideas. Because I have a very more. My daughter said that too. She said, "No, I don't think lifestyle is your thing." Facebook, I'm part of the Facebook monetization, content monetization program. My daughter, she don't have no filter. She don't. She really don't. And she respectful, but she's gonna filter. And I said, Facebook trying to offer me some kind of bonus thing or something. I was just talking. And she said, but what they, oh, that's cool. No, she was like, that's cool. What is it? What is that? And I said, well, they asked me about lifestyle content. Like that. And I just screwed my face up. She said, yeah, I don't think lifestyle is just not your thing. Because you're kind of boring, mommy. And I said, okay, I'll accept that. I'll accept that. Thank you. So it's more like that's kind of me, right? But if you are someone who is very vibrant, and what did I tell you? If you're a woman who is looking for love later, right? Or looking for love, and you want to be just in the element of enjoying you, right? I want you to start. And this is not for performance. This is really authenticity. Because I'm going to tell you this. Guess what? You got to start thinking about the future. You got to start thinking about lineage. You got to start thinking about your namesake. You got to start thinking about your children and your children's children, because you're now getting to a place everything can be intentional about what you're building. Thank you, Hunter. She said, you're like the Forbes powerhouse businesswoman helping women reach their success in business and helping them to build their ecosystem. I appreciate that. Somebody else told me too that I was like the business sprinkle. And I said, well, I will take that as a compliment too. Because baby, I could just sit here and on live and just talk. I really can. I'm trying to get to a place where I do this every day. I just got to get the energy to do it. But this is my thing. I love teaching. I told you I was a teacher by heart. So this is really where your authenticity, right, can really shine. It can really come through. But you got to be in your element. This is the age of the feminine, the divine feminine, not necessarily the woman, the essence of the feminine. We're moving into more of using technology. Mm-hmm. Goddess T. Marie said, I have a big family and they're always doing something entertaining. And I think that's kind of about like when you're sharing stories about like y'all get togethers and having fun and all this kind of stuff and showing a little like it. And, I'm all about protecting the children. So you just got to be very careful of how you expose your children to online people because people are weird. But it's really about like being very strategic. I also think that this is how you start really trusting yourself as well, because you're going to need to go back and look at some of your stuff. This is almost like public journaling, public visualizing, public building in public in so many ways, right? YouTube, y'all sleep, everybody up. So it's it's really about like how can I build the infrastructure around myself to be able to create. So you're building an audience, you're growing your audience, you're offering value to your audience. These people, right? Exactly, Kyla. She said it's me in the most embodied state. Absolutely. Like it's almost like you're your own actress, you're your own actor, you're in your own show. You got all this was not like Pisces, go back. Pisces structure. Everything was about you had to go through filters in order to be found and discovered, right? So you had to go to LA, Hollywood to be discovered. You had to go to New York to be discovered. You had to go to Atlanta to be discovered. You had to go to Miami to be discovered. So all these places gatekeeping the process for which your creativity had to go through filtering and vetting to see if it was their liking, their preference, what they wanted to put out, what the media wanted to control, because media, whoever controls the media, controls the world. Beyonce told us this. She let us know what was up. So now we're in a space where it's free for all. That's how we, girl, Kyla, that's how we got it. So now we're in this space of now anybody can have free range. Not only that, but you have access to people all over the world that can watch you live your best life, learn from you, listen to you. Now it just comes down to you deciding what that looks like. And how that looks like is you getting centered and having a good relationship with time. Because I'm going to tell you this, the reason why a lot of us ain't sat down and really thought about how we wanted to strategically move is simply because of what? You feel like you don't have time. Well, we know that time is a construct. Time is a construct. Time is a construct. Okay. Time is made up by man to measure events, the length of time between events, just so we can have a measuring tool. But it is not something that is real in so many ways. And the video that I saw on TikTok just really put it into perspective, where I talked about time, where the young lady was talking about how this African theologian um, talked about the concept of time, and that African time is based on events. It's event based time. So when we think of, I got to do this tomorrow, I got to send DMs tomorrow. No, it's not about sending DMs tomorrow. It's not about making TK months. It's about, okay, I'm going on a vacation next month. I really want to take a vacation to Canada. I want to take a vacation to Costa Rica. I really want to take that vacation, go on a cruise in Bahamas. I'm looking to go to Europe, and I'm looking to move. I'm looking to do this. I'm looking to do that. I'm going to this conference. I'm going to this, whatever. Everything now is built upon events. I'm launching this. I'm creating this and entering this. Everything is built upon an event that has happened, and it hasn't happened yet. Because we're in the age of air, this gonna hit you right here. This free game. I could create in air. I can create in air. You can, your voice is vibration, but I'm gonna tell you what is also going to be, because we're in polarity, I told you, because the freedom is there to create whatever you want to create. This is good right here. I don't care what you think. This is good. I can create freely because because the way to my freedom and the way to wealth and abundance is not hid from me. I'm preaching. Let me calm down. There's no longer anybody telling me I can and cannot do. There's nobody telling me that's we're not looking for that right now. There's nobody telling me, oh well, you sound good, or this is a good book, but we're really looking for something kind of like this now. No, 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 no. I can self-publish. I can produce music. I can get on YouTube and create different channels, create sitcoms, create influencers, create AI agencies if I want to, and create my own agency and actually be a broker for myself. Love is going to be different, and people that don't know how to do that, people don't know how to create in an age where air is your friend now. There, all of these systems that's coming down is because it's in the middle of judgment. They're gonna try, and Spirit have even told me when they were talking about this AI stuff and production and ROI ain't coming in. Spirit told me the other day. He told me some couple of months ago. It's because they're trying to destroy what God has created. You cannot destroy the creation of God. You can't destroy it. We're like the planet. You can't get rid of the planet. The planet has always been here for billions and billions of years. We've been here. We cannot be destroyed. We were always here. Now, there are different variations of us, right? Because these bodies are not meant to be forever, but these bodies are well built. To look, let me go as far as to say this. Whatever they're doing, and you know who they is, okay? Whatever they're doing to these bodies, I'm gonna tell you this. This is the first time in history that our lifespan collectively is longer than our ancestors. Because our ancestors, and when I say ancestors, I'm talking about up to the 16, 17, 1800s. Now, before that, we used to live long. But the 16, 17, 1800s, 1900s, I'm sorry, the 1800s, we did not live very long. It was very short lived. Why? Because of disease and the lack of technology and all this kind of stuff. And even with all this stuff going on with our bodies are well built to withstand some of this stuff because these bodies been tore up from the floor up from inside out. Even you can look good, you can be healthy, you can like appear healthy, but a lot of us are taking in caffeine, sugar, all kinds of stuff. We sneaking in candy, we sneaking in, all this artificial stuff. And these bodies are able to handle and withstand the rain. So just think if everything was pure. But let me tell you this. This is why I know that there is a bigger mission on the table other than what they're trying to portray to us, right? So when it comes down to again, the doing business with air, doing a loving in air, all of these things we now can create. Don't you know people can now, and I'm gonna give you this idea too, don't you know you can envision the love of your life with ChatGPT. You can literally create the life you want. Some of y'all still want love. And that's why I say I support women. You just got to be conscientious of what you're going to do because now there is no information here from you. So you get a chance. Oh, my mama didn't teach me. My mama didn't teach me. See, this is why I know I'm telling y'all out of the age of Pisces into Aquarius, because now you're being taught what to look for and what not to look for. Now, if you allow the internet to sway you into extreme feminism or extreme traditional, trad wife movement, because I think both are extremes, right? But If you are in the middle and you say, this is what I want, but I got to treat this thing like a business, I got to treat this thing like this person that I go into life with, we got to have the same values. We got to have the same outlook on life. We got to have the same this, that, and the third. I want to make sure that he can make me laugh and I can, bring joy to his life, but we got to be complete and whole beings. And I will know that because guess what? When you learn to trust yourself, this is where self-trust comes in. This is where self-trust comes in because when you start trusting yourself with small to large decisions, even down to I trust myself to go to this event and do X, Y, and Z, and I'm going to go and I'm going to have a good time. Those little things build up that trust muscle because a lot of us had deep self-trust years ago until it got plummeted over with the events of the last 5 years. Last 5 years took us to quantum speed. I don't see a lot of people that was in business in 2020, 2021. I don't see a lot of that no more. I don't see a lot of people that I was in business with, as far as like on social media. A lot of those people gone. What I see right now, 80 to 90% of my feed, and I thought this was very interesting the other day. I said 80 to 90% of my feed is completely different people than it was 2020, 2021. And that, I didn't know if that was a good thing or a bad thing, but that was interesting that 80 to 90, 95% of the people are completely brand new from 2020. Like, it's crazy. It's absolutely insane to me. But that's kind of where it is. The evolution is going to continue to evolve as you evolve. So you're going to have to realize trusting yourself is going to come back down to strategy. It's going to come down to choice and making decisions. Readiness and being ready is not an emotion, it is a decision. And you have to be able to do things with fear in your back pocket if you have to. And if fear eventually goes away when things turn out well for you. Because look, and you got to start commanding in the air that it's going to go right for me because I said it's going to go right. My voice is enough to penetrate the atmosphere where the algorithm of the universe start to come back to me and support me in what I just said. That's good. So I don't have to be anxious for anything. I don't have to be anxious. It's coming to me because I said, see, a lot of times we need proof that something is coming. That's Pisces. Y'all don't make me tear this room up. Don't make me do it. Because, see, before we needed a sign. Mm-mm. I just, mm-mm. And YouTube so quiet, it's getting on my nerves a little bit because Substack, I ain't got but 5 people on here and it's like a party. Baby, let me tell you, you got to understand your word is enough. It is enough. What, how you know it's going to happen? Because I said it. I said it's going to go well for me. My voice is going ahead of me to the place. Are you kidding me? I'm speaking it before I even get there. If before I get there, it's going to be all right for me. You got to start having some understanding that if I'm going to step into, because now everything, because you don't have what you had at first. A lot of y'all ain't going to have the community that you used to have. All that amen and all that tell it like it is. And a lot of all this stuff is breaking up because now it's, and I hate to say this, But you're going to have to lean and depend on your own yes. Your amen is in you. Your ashe is in you. Your namaste is in you. Your yes is in you. You don't need proof anymore that something is going to work. You don't need proof anymore that something is happening. I look, and even I had someone, one of the ladies in my contrarian membership, and she said, "Well, Coach, would you say did you have proof about this or proof about that?" I said, "My proof." I said, "That's why I don't teach X because," and I was making a reference to a certain thing. I said, "I don't teach that because everything I did with that, I said, I got that by way of relationships and spiritual navigation." I said, "That's why I don't teach it because it's real woo woo." And I said, "I don't know if y'all can handle that because then you be telling me where it's nothing tangible, it's nothing strategic, baby. Because I deal with the supernatural. I do business with the supernatural. So I speak and I go to bed. I say what I gotta say and I'm going on. Because I skip logic most times. The reason why I have to give you logical so that you can learn how to trust yourself, because then you're going to have to get to a place you're going to be able to skip all that stuff and go straight to the result. See, mm-mm, mm-mm. Because see, you got to get to a point you just skip over. Mm-mm, I don't even care about none of that. I want that. I skip. Well, I'm thinking about how many clients I have to get. What do you mean, how many clients? Do you, I mean, what does that have to do with getting it? Like, what does that have to do with getting what I want? So you mean to tell me I got to work for it instead of just speaking it? See, that's Aquarius. That's air. That's why you got to be careful. Because I'm going back to kind of what I was getting ready to say and I got off a little bit. Because now technology is being, in so many ways, created. I have to break it up a little bit. In so many ways, created to suppress the ability to think certain thoughts. You know, we are. Y'all know we electric, right? This is not a secret. Y'all know that. Like this ain't woo woo. You know we electric, right? Okay, we're electric beings. We're energetic beings. Y'all do know that, right? Okay. Like power, spark, electrons, neutrons, neurons fire off, synapses fire off electricity, even our heartbeat. That's why they got the, all okay. Y'all, we know that. Okay, so and then we have auras. I don't want to say too much on here because there's some things you can't say. But we're hooked up to different things, right? We're hooked up to satellites. That's why they got all these satellites and stuff hooked up to us. Know what we doing? Well, where we going? Know what's in us. That's why I don't do Apple Watches and all that kind of stuff. I don't do that. Don't hook nothing up to me. It's already bad enough to get these phones. Because how they know your heart rate? Gotta be careful of this stuff. They know these are tech things to test out and to know how fast your heart's going. They can test these things. They know what's going on, right? Okay. Now, with that being said, you gotta be careful of all that logic. Cause that's all I'm saying. She said, "What do they do with all that data?" Because what are you doing with it? Data is worth more than oil. So all of these metrics with bio in front of that word, you know, what are you doing with that? That's why I deleted Flow app off my phone. Well, I can't get pregnant, I mean, I ain't saying I can, but I ain't got nobody to get pregnant with anyway. So all I'm saying is I went back to the good old calendar system. So yes, please research, Quenisha. It's gonna take you down the rabbit hole. You gotta do that when you really got a day to be like really? Okay. Hmm. I'm gonna say two words and you just write it down and research later. I'm gonna break it up though, because I don't want the Sabrina Wallace. Just she gonna say it, she gonna sound quacko at first, but the woman knows what she talking about. She's probably banned on just about almost everything. They keep making all these channels for it, but she's on the. Sometimes you probably need to get a. I have to probably be quiet. I'll send it to you. Look, I'll send it to you. Um, but the thing is, and you have to have discernment about this stuff. So don't just take even what I'm saying. Test the spirit. Test the spirit because this is your own soul journey that we're on. You understand? And I always tell people to, even though I have studied and I'm very open to different ideologies. Some things I don't accept, some, accept as truth, and some things I do. Um, because it explains, because all of this is theory, right? Nobody knows certainties. Nobody knows really truly what the truth is. We're just really moving. I just know I'm the truth. You are the truth, which means that you can touch your arm and you know that, like, I touch this notebook and I can touch this microphone and I have this laptop and this phone. These are truths, right? We hold these truths to be self-evident. You understand? You have to be able to trust yourself with information. Some of it is going to mess you up a little bit, but then some of it is going to help you guide you to even more truth. What they said, the spirit, it not only comforts, but it leads and guides you into all truth. You got to really start understand self-evident. You are enough. So when we hear that, all we hold these truths to be self-evident that all men and women, because we can change it, are created what? Equal. But there's competition, there's rank and order. But then you also have the ability going into Aquarius where everybody's going to be on the same level playing field. Because the verticals are going to start going horizontal. It's just they having a hard time with that. And this is why I told people, everybody get on one accord, and everybody get spiritual, and everybody get in their spiritual bag, their heads. Okay, you start learning how to meditate, and you start getting on one accord with and being telepathic. See, all of that, all of these things, because the real opponent wants control over the very thing that is keeping you right now, and that is your mind. Your mind is a very prized commodity. That's consciousness. And they want to keep it on the planet. That's how, y'all, when I heard that, I was like, wait a minute, let me go do research on that. Because what are you trying to tell me? They want your mind to stay on the planet if they can. Now, what does it tell you? What does it tell you? And I'm getting ready to get off of here. This is why a lot of times, women need coaching about this stuff, because you are going to have to learn how to navigate self into self. And your mind is can be uploaded into a thing, uploaded into a cloud. And these are not those conspiracies in so many ways, but we're moving into an age where things are going to be so off. That's why I said, don't put everything in a computer. I'm journaling on my I got an online journal. Take it off. Because all that tracking and keystroke tracking, everything knowing, they know everything about what you're doing. This is why they're trying to get these babies to not write anymore. Everything is going on the computer, computer. My daughter knows how to write in cursive. Teach your babies how to write in cursive. They need to know how to write. Pen and paper. Go and buy as many notebooks as you possibly can when you can. Journals so that you can write this stuff out. They can't track what you hiding. I mean, it's not even hiding. They can't track what you ain't digitally putting into the cloud. Cloud is what? Air is condensed moisture. It's condensed water. Water is what? Aquarius. The man with the picture of water. They want the water. Y'all, I'm preaching. I told you what was the two feminine signs? Earth and water. This ain't got nothing to do with woman. Ground is stable. We used to think the ground was masculine. That's not no, because they're not stable, as you can see. Look at the planet. They're not stable. They're fire and they're air. They're very bold. They're very so you're barking up a tree. So you're gonna have to learn how to put pen to paper. And they want you to stop writing because they want to track. That's why, that's why I said don't be talking to AI too much about your feelings. You write your journal, your feel. They want you to they want you to talk to the thing. Because it's almost, we don't want it to become another you. And you become codependent on some of this stuff. You gotta be careful. So what is my whole point? My whole point is this. Self-trust starts with you learning about you, owning you, creating your own path for you, and then understanding that your word is enough to move mountains for you. But you have to believe that for you. I am is the theme of the Aquarian age. I am. Because the frequency that comes after I am is what's going to catch and take you into the result that you say you want. And it has to come instantly because the frequency is the emotion that is in motion at that point of when you said I am. So you got to be careful and being conscientious and conscious of how you feel after you say I am. Like Reverend I used to say, it's in your hands now. I am is in your hands now. What you gonna do with it? Don't mess it up. Because you jack that up all the time. When you say I am, whatever. That what comes after that is very important now. Because it's easy to say. Look at how the world, look how everything is just casually doing whatever. It is so easy to claim the negative. And a lot of us just got to get mature in that. That takes a level of maturity, a level of understanding, a level of growth. You've got to start maturing in that. You got to start getting a hold of your mind. You got to do that. That is a part of your growth trajectory. Whatever you say after I am, it is the truth and not a lie. And if anybody challenges you on that, they are still stuck in the age of Pisces. They are still in the Piscean consciousness. That's in the old way. This is why a lot of people can't get out of the past. The past don't even exist anymore. You still talking about this, and this, and how they doing this to us, and how they doing this to us, and how everybody's going this way. And I just don't understand. Why do you keep doing that? Our history. Create new history. Doggone it. We in 2025. Create something new. Stop being obsessed with our history and create new history. What about now? What are you creating now that nobody has ever seen before on this planet? Can we just talk about something else? History. Let's talk about something else. What are we doing now? I told y'all historians are going to skip all over our era because we're still on a 2,000-year-old story. Like goodness, has anything else spectacular and divine happened in 2,000 years? Like what has happened like what else? I told people we are in Genesis and Revelation at the same time. People are like, what? I'm like, you don't understand what? We are in an end of an age and the beginning of a new one is overlapping at the same time. This has always happened. There's a great transition. There's a reason. Look at the generation names. Z Alpha. Why do you think they named them Generation Z? They call them cohorts now. They don't even call them generations anymore. They're starting to call them cohorts. Carla, you better preach here. Everybody want to talk about, we want to come to talk about, we shall overcome. Every time I hear this song, I get up and walk off. What do you mean we shall overcome? We have. What are you talking about? Don't say that again. We can go where we want to go and do what we want to do. Stop saying we shall overcome. If everybody get their minds right and stop waiting on somebody to give us something, we'll be all right. And so it's like, well, y'all, exactly, Kyla. And so it's like, will you please get yourself together and just do the thing? We did everything for you. Get up. Stop whining and stop crying on this internet. You're not two. You're an adult. Lead for goodness sake. But a lot of that now is going to come by way of your spiritual health. And a lot of that is build up because you got to build up to that because as you build up the spiritual, your physical is going to get built up too. A lot of people fail to realize that your physical is going to come after because you're going to need these bodies to defend yourself. Don't play. And that's everybody. I'm not saying you're going to be fighting, but you don't know what you got to come across when your body has to follow orders from your mind. So you got to command your mind. Tell your mind what to think. Don't allow your algorithm on social media to tell you what to think because whoever controls the algorithm now controls your reality. Change your algorithm. That's all I'm getting is this. That's all I'm seeing is this. Change it, reset it. Reset the whole thing. Are you kidding me? I don't want to see nothing that's going to mess me up today. I don't want to see nothing that's going to make me mad. I don't want to see nothing that's going to tear me up. I don't want to see nothing. I want to see only things that I want to see. These bodies are only commanding to what the brain is telling it to do, but the brain is only going by the operating system that is currently in the mind. Your automatic operating system is whatever your mind is. That's why the algorithm is glitching now. I mean, the AI is glitching. ChatGPT is glitching for a lot of people. It ain't even doing right no more because you're not doing right. It is a mirror. And they also got a little something programming up there too. They doing a little something up there too, but it's giving you back you. So it's making you frustrated because you frustrating yourself. Learn a new way of doing things. And you don't have to lose, you don't have to stumble, you don't have to give up anything in order to have it. You can be right where you are and build from there. You acquire a new mind and commit to that for the next 30 days. For the next 30 days, you need to put yourself on a heavy, just like, we trying to get these bodies and all this kind of stuff, girl, we're going to be fine. I need you to do the same thing for your mind. Your body gonna follow. And people think I'm crazy, but I told folks, you ain't got to do all this heavy exercise and all this heavy weightlifting and all that kind of stuff. But these people do not live long. You ain't got to do all that. All you got to do is walk, do a little light jog, very, very like strength training, and that's it. But all this heavy, you ain't got to do all that. You ain't got to do all that. You ain't got to do all that because all of that is your. That's why a lot of people still can't lose the weight doing all this extra exercising that they're doing, because your body, your mind has to be changed. I don't care how many times, I don't care how disciplined you are going to the gym. If you ain't lost no weight, it's your mind. And sometimes it's just, you can tell, don't you know? I'm gonna mess you up. And Substack, you may have to come on to YouTube because my battery getting low on this phone. Don't you know? You can tell yourself the ideal weight you want to be, and you keep telling yourself that that is the weight you are, and you keep telling yourself that's the weight that you are in the mirror. Don't you know that your body will start? If you go into my last article, Goddess T. Marie, I have my YouTube down there. It is, yeah, what's my YouTube? I'm on it and don't even. The digital underscore lead her. The digital underscore lead her, or lead her. Come on over, y'all. Because I think I'm at 8%. But um, like, you can tell yourself, and your body will start to actually go down in the weight. Like, you won't, you don't know that can happen. That can happen. Your mind, if your mind is that powerful, your body follows the orders of the brain. The brain follows the order of the mind. The mind, however, right, is prompted. This is gonna be good right here. Is prompted by the spirit. The spirit is the truth. I'm gonna give you this, gonna blow your mind. It's gonna blow your mind. It's gonna mess you up. As you know how you use ChatGPT, that is the same way when you catch yourself doing things and you catch yourself saying, I've been procrastinating, or you catch yourself saying, I know I can do better than this, or you catch yourself saying, I really could have did this, I really should have went to this. Why didn't I just say yes to that? That's your spirit catching you. That's a prompt. And it's almost like your spirit will bring you back to awareness that you're doing it again. There's the pattern again. And spirit will bring you back, bring your mind back. So your mind has to be prompted with the right information. And then your mind will start to redo the memory. It will redo the memory in your ChatGPT, which is, so the response that you get is your brain telling you. So whatever you program it with, the custom instructions in open AI, that's your brain. So don't get mad at ChatGPT because it ain't giving you this. Use the app subscriber. It's not showing me a lot. Go to the live tab, y'all. Go to the live tab, and I should be there. I'm public because I think I'm going down even more and more and more. You have to understand. Let me see if I can. I don't know if I can do it there. Go to the live tab, and I should be live. Because even my little the digital underscore lead her. You got it? Okay, very good. She said I got it. Excuse me. So that is a part of the programming process, right? It's a part of the programming process. Oh yeah, Fallon. Yeah, she said I got an email. That's how I found you. Fallon, come on over to YouTube because my phone going dead. And I'm on my phone on Substack. So I'm gonna let it do its thing, y'all. But come on over. It is too funny. Um, we have to start thinking about creating the infrastructure on how we want that to occur when we have the customer instructions, because it's going to start spitting out the right data. That data is very important. And everything happens in due season because you said so. It happened in due season because you simply said so. Your voice is vibration. Your voice is sound. But the way you say things, how excited you are about it, or how down you are about it, is frequency, is attached to that. So I will go as far as to say this is that when we talk about the things we want to create, the things we want to bring into this existence and this reality, it's got to start with your mind. You have to have, it's a 3-part formula to this: thought, word, whatever you speak out of your mouth, and deed, which means your body will do as unto what the brain tells it to do. The body then becomes your brain as more and more automatic you become. That's why sometimes it's good. Somebody said it's good to start like washing your face or brushing your teeth or using your opposite hand, because I'm right-handed. So like using your left hand instead to throw off your body, because your body like, why is she using that hand? Because I have to be aware to do that. Your awareness kicks in. That's consciousness, right? Your consciousness and awareness kicks in when you say, I'm gonna use my left hand. Your body don't even know what just happened. Your body's like, wait a minute, she just told us to use the left. What is this about? So now your body, that's why it feels awkward to your left hand or your opposite hand to comb your hair or to brush your teeth, because, or even to write, because the body like, what is this? Now you're sending into a almost like a low-key panic, but it has to roll with it because the awareness, spirit kicks in at that point. Not your mind, spirit. Because that's consciousness and awareness, the I am. I am going to use my left hand instead of my right. I am going to switch steps. You're probably used to walking and taking steps because you don't even think about it. It's automatic. So sometimes you got to shock the body a little bit. Instead of immersing yourself into hot water or taking a hot shower, you may need to do warm, cool. Your body was like, what is this? And it wakes up. Energy. You have to start trusting yourself. You have to start trusting yourself and start putting yourself through a little mini boot camp to start telling yourself something different, and your body has to comply, because it's not going to believe you if you just tell yourself 2 or 3 times, oh, I made 10K this month. Oh, I made 10K this month. I made 10K this month. And then you don't tell yourself anymore. Your body's like, it was cool to say, but we're just going to go back to doing just, we'll pull a little something through. You've got to start trusting yourself. And it starts with those 3 things. I made a controversial post about women. I told women that unpopular opinion, I don't think you should be working for anybody. I really don't. I don't think you should be working for any employee. If you're going to be working for, you need to be a contractor. And people got, a little pressed about that, because it's like, oh, well, everybody's not meant to work for everybody. No, 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 no. No, you're not meant to work for anybody. I didn't say that you just don't have the patience to learn how to become an entrepreneur. That's all it is. You don't have the patience or the skill set to sit down and learn because you're impatient and you don't trust yourself. That's all it is. It has nothing to do with everybody's not meant to do that. Yes, yes, you are. I can tell people are unhinged by the way they act. A lot of women need managers. And this is why institutions exist, because there has to be institutions for people that cannot manage themselves. They're not good people to manage themselves by themselves. That's why a lot of people need religion. I don't think religion really should go away. People need that. We would have an absolute wildfire globally if they got rid of everything. We need jobs, because a lot of people just do not have it. I'm telling you, everybody can work for themselves. You can all become contractors. I told people, I said, there's no need for employees. And I was working in HR. I remember people like, what? I was like, there's really no need for employees. Everybody, if you can work at home, you can be a contractor. Everything it can be contracted, even down to janitors and plumbers. I mean, everything can be contracted. But we have to have people in seats so we can watch them. Some people need a dad, they need a father, they need someone that they can make up in their mind, somebody over them to approve of their behavior, because they're still children in the brain. I saw a controversial post and I screenshot it, and I don't even know how it came down my timeline, but it bothered me so bad. And it was a young girl on the ground crying. And it was from a group. It was a Facebook group that I'm not in. But sometimes they be advertising public groups. And the caption was a man and a woman, looked like from the South, deep South. And the caption said, um, this is why women need to, no, not a sugar daddy, not a sugar daddy, meaning a heavenly father, quote unquote. Um, where the person said in the caption that they are that women need to get back in the word, and this is why they don't need to go to college, and they get swayed by becoming feminists, and they become ambitious, and they're hearing all kinds of different things that they don't need to hear, and they just need to get back into the word. They need to get back into church, and to they college doesn't teach them anything but to have be a doesn't teach them how to be a wife or a mother. They need to get back into the word and have a husband, and they don't have to what is it called? They don't have to pain themselves with anxiety and da 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 and da 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 da. And I was like, and I saw the comments. Of course, they were like, you're so right. Women have just been so pained in the past 10, 15 years, and we're just seeing so many women. They're just losing their minds, and they're not in Christ. I said, here we go. I said, here we go, baby. When I saw that, I said, ding, 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 ding. There is a portion that will have to go back. And this is why I said when the AI was going down, because I said either this is going to go one way or it's going to go the other way. I said one way could be they use AI to birth the beings that they want, right? They had all this ASI, they had all this ASI. And then the birth rate's going down, 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 down. I said, ooh, it ain't fast enough. They ain't fast enough. I said the ASI was supposed to be the ones that took over, but it ain't going fast enough. I mean, look how they tearing up the little projects that they doing now. It's not happening. Let me see who was teaching Kundalini activation during tarot and everything, and then went right back to the church shaming people who are spiritual self. I've seen several people do that. I've seen several people do that. And see people, they will, which is very unfortunate. Spirituality is not a religion, and they tried to make it that way. And spirituality is nothing more, nothing less than hearing from the spirit realm. That's it. It's direct communication on how it's someone who can communicate effectively with the spirit realm. That's it. That's all spirituality is. All of the extra that we add on to it is just belief. You know what I call them? I call them belief hacks. But really, and I go back to, I love Neville Goddard. I love Neville Goddard. I love Dr. Joseph Murphy. I love Reverend Ike. I love Louis Hay. So many others, right? Wayne Dyer, he went on. Bob Proctor went on. David Nagel, which is one of my mentors. I love him. And I don't know if he's gone on, but as I heard he went on, but I hope not. Bobby Hemmett is one of them. And there are still some spiritual teachers that I absolutely love. And that's actually kind of excuse me, one of the things that I aspire in so many ways to start transitioning into is more of the spiritual and esoteric, but lining it up more in the Neville Goddard way, because I do believe that you're going to get to a place where you won't be able to get tarot cards. You're not going to be able to grab oracle cards. You're not going to be able to grab incense and sage and frankincense and all this kind of stuff. You gotta start thinking and believing that you are enough. You are the most powerful being, and everything inside of you is enough to get things done. All of these things that we do, these crystals and all, and there's nothing wrong with this stuff, right? There's nothing wrong with it. You can wear your crystals and things like that, but you are your protection. Your voice is your protection. You are enough. Oh, I love me some Abraham. I love me some, and I haven't listened to her. I think she was one of the starts of my journey when I first kind of started into, looking at the spirit, spirituality, and listening to different teachers, and not idolizing anyone, but just honoring their different perspectives. Um, and this is why I've always kind of had a problem with, they call them, what is it called? New age. Because there's nothing new age about it. It's always been here. In fact, it's been here previous to Christianity. Christianity is not the oldest religion. I think that we are just in oh yeah, Timur, she said, oh, your self trust is high. It's very high. Absolutely. Absolutely. That's a woman's greatest power, is to trust herself. She is a self She's a self-nurturing entity. The feminine is complete and whole is the way she is. WHOLE. There is nothing missing. Every feminine being is literally like she can stand alone and there's nothing missing in herself. This is why they have to program the woman so early. Do y'all not get that boys don't get dolls? They don't get kitchen sets. They don't get girls get these things. You know why? Because it's not in our nature to do so. It's not in our nature to be wives. It's and when I say y'all be careful, understand what I'm saying. It is not your nature to submit to a man. That's not you. I said, why did you think, why did y'all see that it was a command to do that? Because it's not woman's nature to, it's not woman's nature to submit. We were told that Adam was a leader. I'm like, you talking about the same Adam? You talking about the same Adam that threw his own woman under the bus and blamed her in front of God? Are you kidding? That Adam, the same Adam that ate the apple, ate the fruit, and like somebody, what hundreds, I think you said, somebody said that, and followed her out of the garden. And you mean tell me that jellyback was are you kidding me? Abraham lied to the Pharaoh and said Sarah was his sister because he was scared of him. Somebody, Abraham, that was gonna sacrifice his own son. Tell me that one. The one that slept with his wife's maid and allowed her to be thrown out because he was listed as white. That jellyback too. Abraham was a jellyback too. What are you talking about? I said, if you're gonna bring somebody up that was a leader in that book, I'd rather you bring up Joseph. Joseph was about as close to being a leader as you possibly can make it. Joseph was on. That was the first leader I saw. He wasn't scared of nobody. He stood up to his brothers. He didn't care. He was cocky. So what are you talking about? And look, commanded them that man. I said he cursed that woman with painful childbirth. He is my favorite prophet. Which one? Oh yes, Yusuf, Joseph. Yes, yes, yes. And see, he's a prophet in Islam. They don't call he ain't a prophet in the Bible, which is very interesting. So I just think it's I'm just gonna play this. Self trust is a very much so feminine aspect. This is why you have to be, oof, this is why you have to be trained. This is why they get you early. This is why they want you married at 18, 19 years old before you know yourself, why you still vulnerable. You go from one daddy to another daddy. Your husband is your dad. Especially if you don't know, understand how to govern yourself, you have to be governed over. You have to be led over. And men get very impressed when I say that, obviously, because they're why are you telling them that? Because y'all don't want to see women empowered. You don't want to see that. They don't like when we talk like that. They always come in spaces and say, what do you mean by that? Why are you telling them that? They don't listen to her. Don't listen to her. They can't stand it. Because I mean less women for them, less dummies for them. That's what I call it. I say no, because there's not enough dummies out here for you. That's the issue. That's why you're upset. The more dummies, the better. And that's exactly how I say it. Because when a woman don't know herself and she get married, because I was a dummy twice. They have to get you early. because you're already, and this was said, you're quicker, that you mature faster, you start talking faster, you actually your survival is much more promising than theirs. You live longer than them on average. And they did the studies where they saw that single women actually lived longer than men, and married men lived longer than married women. Me, T. Marie, I literally had to do the same thing. This is identity shift. You give your identity away. And I'm not talking down about it. Let me just make sure I'm clear. I don't mind marriage. I think marriage, like I said, if it's in between two people and it makes sense for them, and it makes sense for them from a legal standpoint, and they feel very spiritually in tune with one another to do life together, because there's a reason why they make life hard, or they put these things in place to suppress the woman, because the woman, it has a cycle that is not in alignment to the cycle that we operate in. The world is a system that is not structured or built for women. Heck, it's starting to be too much for the man. Look how there are men right now crying online about how life is too hard for them. You know why? Because they're in their feminine energy. They're heavy in their feminine. They're very imbalanced because they're going by their root chakra, the emotional centers at the bottom. When women don't know how to critically think and up, okay, and up. When women don't know how to access that part, she has to go back down her root in the sacral. That's your lower energy centers that have to deal with money and survival. Women, when they don't know how to think with their mind, they have to use their lower centers. So you got to be very careful. You got to look at this stuff from a bird eye view and say, what is really going on? Why am I really having these experiences? What is really happening here? Right? Why am I really going through this and the third? Why is this man da 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 da? Because both of y'all are operating from your lower chakras. Both of you. When women say things like, why is he treating me like this? Because he's operating from his lower chakra, just like you are. You're not both, neither one of you are using your brains. I'm just telling you. So next time you get mad at why is he, it's just a terrible. I don't know if this is true or not, but I just saw somebody's status that said, how did a baby daddy pull the princess of Dubai? Can somebody confirm or deny? Because if that is insane, if that is the case. Princess of Dubai, somebody got the Princess of Dubai pregnant. Is that real? Because if that's a whole nother lie. Lie. Because what are you talking about? Oh Lord, she got engaged to French Montana. Excuse me. Shekhar Mahra, I can't say it. It's yeah. The daughter of the ruler of Dubai has been making headlines recently. Okay, the latest news is that she has gotten engaged to French Montana, a U.S. rapper. The news comes shortly after she divorced from her previous husband. So I don't know how old this is. I don't know how. I mean, this is just absolutely amazing. I'm just this is 3 hours ago. TMZ just reported it. I don't understand. I just really don't understand it. That I don't know how that happened. The world is just it's just not this is really Candyland. If you say when you really just sit back and look at everything, this is really shoots and ladders. Like everything is made up. This is ridiculous. That's what we at. Do what you want to do. Now people telling her to get the prenup. No, how about leave him? Like, what are you talking about prenup? So this is really. I'm telling you, we are definitely in crazy times. I think this is just a very interesting dynamic. I really do. I think that we're just in a time where people right now just do whatever you want to do. I have questions for the princess, and I want to sit her down in a room with a camera with nobody else in there, and just the first question that I want to ask her is, "Are you dumb?" That's gonna be my first question, straight out the bat. Are you dumb? And I would totally not hold back. I would totally not hold back. Are you dumb? Are you dumb? Because obviously I don't care about your title because you don't either. But let's go back to what I said. Let's go back to what I said at the beginning. Where's her mother? We're out of Pisces. We're in Aquarius. So it goes back to that. Everybody is for everybody. There is no everything there's no more vertical like that. He shouldn't have had access to this woman. Um, I just think that we're just in a very, very this is what we see. This man is gonna go down in history and say that I even dated the princess of Dubai. He can say that. He can add that to his I dated a Kardashian and the princess of Dubai. Things are that's why I said the whole global perspective, because a lot of people moved to Dubai, a lot of people moved over there. I think he was one of them. Somebody said that he had moved over there not too long ago. But there's people that are moving internationally, getting into different circles and things like that. And Dubai is all money, you know that. But this goes back to what I said at the beginning. We are in an Aquarian energy, right? There's a Aquarian consciousness. We're in the divine age of air. So anybody can say anything and believe it because your words hold more weight. Your thoughts hold a lot of weight. Your deeds, your actions, your body, the way that it moves, the confidence, because all this is confidence. French Montana, at some level, had the audacity and the confidence to go after the princess of Dubai. You got to be somebody. You got to have the confidence of what is it? Yes, because now she got to go against her daddy. princess. She gotta go to this or that. And look, I don't even know if the daddy cool with it. Daddy might be cool with it. I don't know. I'm sure he ain't. But that's crazy. But that's the whole thing. Like I'm doing whatever it is I want to do, and I don't care if people get upset about it. I don't care if people get annoyed by it. This is what I want to do. And so the beat of her own drum is by doing what she's doing. There's a lot of things that are happening people don't understand. I don't understand that, but whatever. And I told y'all, what did I tell y'all? What I tell y'all, the East shall become the West, and the West shall become the East. That is happening. That is happening in real time. We're seeing this in 5 years, all kinds of stuff. Dubai and all of that is going to be exactly what America should have been. America's going backwards in time. Me and my daughter, we rode through our town, but we were going in town, but we are going the streetway instead of the highway. And I was looking at some of the stores we would pass by, and I said, Maddie, I said, it's sad that we're in 2025 and they still got the same looking stores from 1960s. And Maddie said, you would think that we would be flying in cars by now. I said, that's what I'm saying. I said, but the simple fact that they are so stubborn, they don't want to let go of anything from the past. They got to have the past to remind them of whatever. And I just thought it was interesting because the roads are still, some of the roads are still rubble. Like it's just interesting to me. But then we also have in the same, satellites and spaceships and we got supernovas that we can find, and we can find black holes, and we know when a spaceship is coming down to the planet. But you mean to tell me we can't get these roads together and we can't upgrade the infrastructure because the money is not in the infrastructure? The money and the investments are all in air. That's what we are. So trusting yourself, and I close. I'm getting ready to close. Trusting yourself is all about what you speak into yourself. Let your voice be the most dominant thing you hear, more than you listen to social media, more than you listen to lives and podcasts. Your voice needs to be the most dominant sound that you hear going forward. There's nothing wrong with getting encouragement. There's nothing wrong with getting empowered and getting perspective and getting strategy. But when it comes down to your voice, you need to be the loudest voice and the most clear voice that you can see and that you can hear. I'm sorry, that you can hear. The sound from you into your own ears is going into your mind. So you have to be able to guard that with your whole heart. And don't ever let your voice leave you. Not saying that you're going to become mute or anything like that, but don't downplay your voice and amplify others, because your voice is the most important thing you will ever hear. And whatever they can do to suppress that, they will do that. And that also comes with self-parenting, self-nurturing, self-leading, self-trusting, self-guiding. You have God within. And start treating yourself that way with audacity and with strength. Because nobody can do life like you. You are your own salvation. Okay? If you want to work with me, if you need to schedule a monetization mapping session, go right ahead. I have 2 spots for the Global 101 90-day rebuild. We going on. All right? Love y'all so much. Get you some rest, and I will talk to y'all soon. All right? Bye.